So to give you a little insight on what's going on, I continue to buy a little bit of gold. Not that I think it's a great investment. I don't care. I care one way or the other, but I don't want it to tank by any means. But I own it lower than where it is now. I own it higher than it is now. I don't know when the day's going to come that I'm going to sell it. And whenever I do, my cost average will be the cost average. I mean, obviously, I'll pause if I think there's a reason to pause. Like I haven't purchased in 3-4 months. I just started buying a couple. A little bit. I mean, like a few $1,000s worth. I take that back. More like $10,000 worth. So that's gold and platinum. However, also in the real estate world, so I had a bad tenant in one property. We got him out. I had to put around $12,000 back into the property, or $15,000 back into the property. Now it's ready to be rented, and now I have a New York City retired police officer as the wife, and a fireman, New York City fireman, as the husband. So they both have W-2 incomes. Actually, the wife's retiring, I think. They're not losers. They have in the 800 credit score, like me. So I know a person that has 800 credit score. Don't get me wrong, they could stop paying their rent. If they should hit the fan, I don't know what their track record is. But I know if things are normal, they shouldn't be ever an issue. Because they have the same score as me, so I would only assume that their transactions are similar to my transactions. You agree to buy something, you agree to do something, and you do it. And that's why your credit score is what it is. So I got a lease on my desk for 1 year. I don't understand the 1 year leases. I hate them. They're made up, I think, because of the real estate agents. Because every year when they renew it, I have someone managing the properties. They can go through all the nonsense, blah, 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 and make themselves a commission. But hey, we keep the industry, keep the environment, whatever the hell you call it, going as well. The economy floating. However, so it's a 1 year lease, and then we have a contract on my desk to sell a property. Now, don't forget, a year ago, 5 years ago, I was losing my home. So this is nothing major for a lot of people, but I'm still working on my way up, you know what I mean? I'm climbing up the ladder to success, escalator style. However, so I have a sale for $485 for a property. I set the contract out for $500. A guy gets the contract and says, blah, blah, blah. $485 makes more sense. I'm like, okay, $485 makes more sense. Why didn't you say that before I sent you the contract and we agreed to $500? The $15,000 difference. I have it for sale right now on the market for $7 and change, but he's a cash buyer. Boom, boom. So it's not worth, I don't know what it's worth. I know what it's worth. It all depends on to who. It's an aggressive building, has no parking. So, you pay for good items, per square foot, and you take money away for stuff that's negative in the building. And there's plenty of negatives and there's plenty of positives. So either way, he has a contract for $500. He wants to change it to $485. I mentioned it to the, good morning. I mentioned it to the agent, and I'm like, listen, if you don't sell it to these people, he had someone come in and look at the building. I said, if you don't sell it, I'm going to pull the trigger and sell it to this guy. Because I know, sure, I might be selling it, I might not be getting the best price for it. That's okay. I'm fine with it. Same thing when I sell the gold. What are you going to do? You're going to lose a deal like this guy actually did. He wanted $485. He wanted $15. He already getting a great deal. He wanted $15,000 less. He has the contracts on his desk. He's like, all right, well, I'll give you a week. He tells me, he goes, he'll give me some time to think about it and get back to him. I'm like, all right. I thought it was a joke. I don't have to sell if I don't want to. If I had to sell, I would say yes. I would take the $485. But I don't have to sell. There's no reason for me to sell. There is a reason, because I want to take that money. I'm going to make 10 times more money with that money in Florida than I do in New York. So with that being said, hold on 1 second. I'm crossing the street. Thank you. Okay. I tell the agent I'm going to sell it if you don't sell it. And I wasn't going to sell it, but I wanted to let him know that he better get his ass in gear. He's like, I'll give you that price. I'll give you $500. I said I have a buyer for $500, and I'm selling it to him. And obviously the buyer backed out of $500. He wanted to give $485. So I said I have a buyer for $500. So if you want it, he's like, I'll give you $500 cash right now. So he's like, I have it in my bank, and I believe he does. He's a landlord, and in the landlord world, that's not a lot of money, which is crazy. But so sure, $500,000, no problem. No. We agree on 510. I send him out a contract for 510. The other guy goes, so did you think about it? I said I have a contract out right now for 515. No, 510. Excuse me. I should have said 515. but I didn't. So he's like, okay, I'll give you 515. So now he's up 30,000 from where he wanted to go down to, 15,000 more from where I wanted. So he's like, I'll give you 515. He goes, he matches it. He goes, I'll give you 510, and I give you 50,000 cash. He's paying cash anyway. He won't give me cash. I go, I don't want cash. I'm not looking at it. What am I gonna do with cash? I'm like, you put it through the books, and that's it. And the story. So I'm like, no, I have no interest in that. You know, the only thing I have interest in is more money. So he came back with a 515 offer, and I said I'll get back to him. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell him. I'm going to tell him exactly what he told me when he wanted 485. He's like, give me a 3% allowance or 3% haircut, something like that. I'm going to use the exact wording later when I get back to my computer, and we'll see what he says. So 3% will probably bring it to like 535. I'm guessing. I'm walking my dog right now. 535. I'll kill the other contract and go with it. Look at this guy fucking driving on the grass. It's crazy. Probably a woman. It was a woman. I'm only kidding. Hey, let me tell you this too. I'm on Instagram, and I have, as you know, I have some gold coins, and I want to get rid of some of my fractional. They're a pain in the ass anyway. Whatever. Someone I follow. I like his channel. I've been following him. I never speak with him or anything, but I know he knows my name because I know he watched some of my stuff on Instagram. Whatever. I believe he did. So, and he seemed very trustworthy, and guys like that you want to keep close. So, because if you don't have to worry, like even when he asked me, I know that hasn't been burnt 100 times. I'm sure he's been burnt because I don't know who hasn't been burnt. So much criminal activity. Always keep your guard up. But so I'm like, hey, buddy. I say I don't want to say his name. Not that it matters. I'm sure he doesn't give a shit. I'm like, hey, so and so. Let's do some business together. So he's like, he's sitting in the doctor's office. He goes, but I said I have fractionals that I want to get rid of. So it's bullion, regular bullion. So I figured he'll sell it a certain percent above spot, like everyone else does, and I'll take this much above spot, and he'll take this much above spot, and he'll do the work. And I don't need him to do it. I just want a network, you know. And I thought it would be cool. So he's like, he responds back, I don't do any consignment. I don't even know what the fuck that means. I know what consignment means, but like your first answer is yes. Anyone wants to do business with you, respond yes. Worry about the no later. If it doesn't make sense to you later, then tell them no. But hey, everyone's different. So, but a very nice guy. Like he responds back to me. He goes, a different topic. He's like, what do you do for a living? And he sends me a picture of Tony Soprano smoking a cigar. What the fuck? So, at first, like now that it's been a day, pondering it, it's the same thing as when the Italians were when we were young in the neighborhood. I mean, I don't know. It's not really racism. I wouldn't call it racism, but he's putting me, because I'm Italian, with a Tony Soprano TV figure, fake figure at that, but obviously you know he's a mobster and a killer. So obviously he's saying that to me, even though I'm sure he didn't mean anything by it, but he's not going to want to do business with Tony Soprano, right? I can only assume. So if he thinks have any semblance, anything that has to do with Tony Soprano, he shouldn't. I assume he's not going to do business with me. I haven't responded back, but I couldn't believe it. I was no big deal, but I just thought it was strange. And honestly, I don't even understand the two. Where do they don't look. They're nothing to do with each other. I mean, we don't resemble that much. I am 6 foot 250 pounds, but maybe I might even be pushing 260. But I know what he meant. Obviously, we all know what he meant. So, kind of strange. This thing is probably rocking so much. Well, with that being said, if you're still here watching this video, I know one thing is you're loyal. Second thing is I appreciate it more than you think. Do me a favor, hit the thumbs up. And if you're here, you have to hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed already. I just broke 2,000. So hopefully you are here at the very end of a boring video. But if you are, if you comment Tony Soprano, I'm going to put you in a raffle to win something.